Happy trail, happy trail.
Welcome to Webisode 2 of Hiking Toronto Trails by HomeMovies.ca. Before I take you along on some of the many trails we have for you to take for yourselves, I believe you'll appreciate a couple of tips to get maximum enjoyment when you hike the trails featured in this series. First, the obvious tips. Spontaneity and not knowing what you'll discover can be fun, but if you're a zoomer like us, it's more often better to be prepared. Of course, dress for the weather and the terrain. Regular walking shoes are probably okay on the paved pathways, but you'll definitely need hiking footwear with good deep grip for hiking the woods trails up and down the hills and dales. If you're just beginning on a hiking for fitness and fun program and don't know how far you can go, take it easy the first couple of hikes. Don't go too far that you can't make it back out. A small container of water or juice is also a good idea, especially on hot days, but even in the winter on a challenging hike you can get thirsty. A small thermos of something hot would be better in winter. You can even plan to take a small snack, cheese and crackers, or even a small lunch, but don't overload yourself. Carrying too much on these hikes is not good. Take cameras for sure. You will really want to later review and enjoy the pics and videos you took. There's a really neat gadget you'll sooner or later probably want to take. Get yourself a GPS unit. They are quite affordable these days. You boot it up at the beginning of your hike and save the track at the end. It will tell you how far you have hiked when you check it along the way and how far the total hike was. And if you get lost in the woods, and believe it, it's easy to happen even on Toronto trails, you can use the GPS to find your way back out again. Our GPS has helped us find our way out of the Toronto woods a number of times. And even neater, when you get it home, you can upload the GPS track of your hike to Google Earth, which will draw a path of exactly where you hiked that you can see whenever you want and share with others. You can even save a screen capture of the hike track as a JPEG file and include that with your hike photos and videos. Some GPS units have their own built-in photo and video cameras, which is very handy if you don't already have a camera. And when you upload your hike track to Google Earth, you can even also upload your still photos of what you saw at the same time. Google Earth lets you save your hike tracks for later viewing whenever you want to click on the links to see them again. GPSing and Google Earthing your hikes is very cool. Use them to impress others with, and they are very useful too for monitoring your improving fitness level. Another big tip to share with you is, while hiking the thousands of Toronto trails is more than enough fun and fitness to last you many years of enjoyment, there is a way to make them even more enjoyable and a truly educational experience for yourselves and to share with others, like say the grandkids for instance. Most Torontonians do not know just how much history there is in Toronto to discover and learn about. Our tip is to plan your Toronto Trails hikes to include those that take you to places of Toronto history. While it is true that far more history than what still so far exists has been torn down, bulldozed, and destroyed since 1950, there still is a tremendous amount to keep you busy discovering for years ahead. In fact, over recent years, a lot of effort by a lot of terrific people have resulted in a real treasure trove of hundreds, even thousands of years of Toronto history for all to discover and learn more about. For example, did you know that Canada's first Parliament building was right here in the town of York, Toronto's original name, which the Americans burned to the ground during the War of 1812, 200 years ago, along with many of the surrounding homes after looting them. He took revenge on that dastardly deed and burned down their White House. Did you know that 250 years ago the French built several fortifications in the Greater Toronto area? One on the present-day Canadian National Exhibition grounds and several on the lower Humber River. Did you know that all of Toronto is actually built on top of First Nations villages and hunting camps? and that some of Toronto's main streets were actually constructed on their much earlier trails. Even many of the hiking trails in Toronto were actually First Nation trails of long ago. Or did you know that about 13,000 years ago, Toronto was buried under ice about 2 kilometers high? Our Hiking Toronto Trails webisodes focus on those hikes that lead you to discovering some of all of that history. Webisode 3 will be about our first trail in this History Trails series. I hope you'll tune into it and then get out there yourselves and enjoy hiking Toronto Trail.